Let them doubt you. Let them question you. Let them look at your situation, your background, your bank account, your past mistakes, and come to the conclusion that you don't have what it takes. Because most people don't understand, this doubt is not a dead end, it's a doorway. It's a test of how bad you really want it. Anybody can grind when they're praised. Anybody can show up when they're celebrated. But can you still go hard when nobody believes in you? Can you still push when the room gets quiet, when the support disappears, when the only voice you hear is the one telling you to quit? See, haters don't destroy dreams. Agreement with haters does. The moment you start believing what they say, that's when you lose. But if you flip it, if you turn every insult into intensity, every laugh into late nights, every you can't into watch me, then their negativity becomes your power source. You stop needing motivation because you've got something stronger. You've got a point to prove, not to them, but to yourself. I've seen people with no talent outwork geniuses. I've seen people with every disadvantage imaginable rise higher than those born with every advantage. Why? Because pain became their fuel. Rejection became their training ground. When someone told them you're not good enough, they didn't cry, they clocked in. They got obsessed. They trained when it was uncomfortable, studied when it was boring, sacrificed when it hurt. They understood that success is not built on comfort. It's built on confrontation with your limits. And listen to me carefully. The same people laughing at you today will study you tomorrow if you don't quit. But you can't do this halfway. You can't dabble in greatness. You can't visit discipline occasionally and expect extraordinary results. When doubt surrounds you, that's your signal to go all in. Wake up before the sun. Stay focused when your mind wanders. Do the extra rep, read the extra page, make the extra call, because greatness lives in the extras, not the minimums. Some of you are waiting for encouragement, waiting for someone to say, "I believe in you." But what if nobody ever says it? What if the crowd never comes? What if the applause never shows up? You still have a responsibility to your potential. You still owe your future everything you've got, because one day you will either thank yourself for not quitting, or you will live with the regret of knowing you could have been more. Understand this, haters are not your problem. Comfort is your problem. Distraction is your problem. Inconsistency is your problem. The hate is just noise, and noise only matters if you stop moving. A train doesn't stop because dogs bark at it. It keeps going because it knows exactly where it's headed. You've got to become that train, locked in, unstoppable, focused on the destination, not the commentary. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need revenge. You don't need to embarrass anybody. Success handled with discipline will do all the talking for you. One day, your results will speak so loudly that the memory of their doubt will feel small. But that day only comes if you survive the days when quitting looks reasonable, when slowing down feels justified, when giving up seems easier than pushing forward. So, when they doubt you, smile, not because it doesn't hurt, but because you understand what they don't. Pressure creates diamonds. Resistance builds strength, and every ounce of doubt you carry today can become the fire that forges the person you're meant to become. Use it, don't run from it, don't waste it. Turn their doubt into your drive, their hate into your hunger, their disbelief into your discipline, and then become so undeniable that even they can't ignore what you've built. Stop asking people who never chased greatness whether your dream makes sense. Stop handing the steering wheel of your life to passengers who aren't even willing to drive their own. Some of you are stuck, not because you lack ability, not because you lack opportunity, but because you keep looking over your shoulder for approval from people who are comfortable staying exactly where they are. You're trying to fly while surrounded by people who are afraid of heights. And every time you start to rise, they pull on your ankles, not because they hate you, but because your courage exposes their fear. Listen to me, not everyone in your life is qualified to evaluate your vision. Just because they love you doesn't mean they understand your purpose. Just because they're close to you doesn't mean they can see where you're going. Some people can only advise you from the level they've reached, and if they never left the ground, they can't teach you how to soar. So when they say be realistic, what they often mean is stay where I'm comfortable. When they say that's too risky, what they really mean is I would never be brave enough to try. And if you live for that approval, you will shrink your destiny to fit their comfort zone. You'll start negotiating with your potential. You'll water down your goals so nobody feels threatened. You'll dim your light so insecure people don't have to squint. But let me tell you something, the world does not reward you for playing small. The world rewards courage, discipline, and persistence. You were not created to blend in. You were created to break through. Some of you are exhausted because you keep explaining yourself. You keep trying to convince people who already decided not to believe. You keep presenting evidence to a jury that isn't interested in justice. Stop defending your dream like it's on trial. Your job is not to make everyone comfortable with your ambition. Your job is to execute, to grow, to become, because the truth is, results don't need explanations. When you become undeniable, the same people who doubted you will rewrite the story as if they supported you all along. But understand this too, seeking approval is addictive because rejection hurts. Nobody likes to feel misunderstood. Nobody enjoys being talked about, laughed at, or questioned. But greatness requires a tolerance for being misunderstood. You've got to be willing to walk alone for a season. You've got to be willing to hear silence where you hoped for applause. You've got to be willing to invest in yourself when nobody else is buying in yet. That's the price of uncommon success, uncommon loneliness. And don't confuse isolation with punishment. Sometimes distance is preparation. Sometimes separation is protection. Sometimes the very people you wish would cheer for you would actually slow you down if they were too close. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people are chapters, not the whole story. Appreciate them, love them, but don't let them limit you. You also have to check your motive. Are you chasing your dream because it matters to you, or because you want people to clap for you? Because if applause is your fuel, criticism will be your kryptonite. The moment the cheers stop, so will you. But when purpose is your fuel, nothing can shut you down. You'll keep showing up in empty rooms. You'll keep grinding without recognition. You'll keep building even when nobody is watching. Because you're not performing, you're becoming. So stop polling the crowd about your future. Stop asking permission to pursue what was placed inside you. Stop waiting for unanimous support, because it's never coming. Every visionary in history was misunderstood before they were celebrated. Every leader was questioned before they were followed. Every success story looked crazy in the beginning. If they don't see it, that's okay. If they don't get it, that's okay. If they don't support it, that's okay. You don't need a committee to approve your destiny. You need discipline, faith in your process, and the courage to keep moving when the path feels lonely. Because at the end of the day, you're not accountable to their comfort. You're accountable to your potential. And one day, when your life reflects the risks you were brave enough to take, you won't regret losing their approval. You'll regret every moment you almost lost yourself trying to keep it. Some of you are wasting precious energy trying to respond to people who don't even deserve your attention. Every time somebody throws shade, every time somebody posts something slick, every time somebody questions your ability, you feel this urge to defend yourself. You want to clap back. You want to set the record straight. You want to prove them wrong with words. But let me tell you something. Real power doesn't argue. Real power builds. When you are truly locked in on your purpose, you don't have time to go back and forth with people who are going nowhere. Silence is not weakness. Silence is focus. Silence is discipline. Silence is maturity. Anybody can react. Anybody can get emotional. Anybody can fire off a response in the heat of the moment. But it takes strength to hold your peace and pour that energy back into your grind. You've got to understand, when people criticize you, they're often looking for a reaction. They want to know they can shake you. They want to feel important enough to distract you. And the moment you respond emotionally, you hand them power. Now they control your mood. Now they control your focus. Now they've pulled you off your path. But when you stay quiet and keep working, you send a different message. You tell them, without saying a word, that your future is too important to debate. While they gossip, you grind. While they speculate, you strategize. While they sit in circles talking about what you can't do, you're in a room alone building what they said was impossible. That's how you answer hate, not with paragraphs, not with posts, not with performances, but with progress. And let's be real, sometimes it hurts. Sometimes the criticism comes from people you didn't expect. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's people who used to believe in you. That kind of doubt cuts deep. But even then, your response cannot be emotional retaliation. Your response must be elevation. You don't sink to prove a point. You rise. Silence gives you space to think. It gives you space to grow. It gives you space to master your craft. When you're constantly responding, constantly defending, constantly explaining, you stay in survival mode. But when you choose silence, you step into building mode. And building mode is where greatness lies. Some of you think you have to win every argument, but what if winning the argument costs you your dream? What if proving them wrong in the moment delays your progress long term? The goal is not to look strong online. The goal is to be strong in real life. The goal is not to sound successful. The goal is to become successful. You know what's louder than a comeback? Results. You know what shuts down gossip? Growth. You know what silences critics? Consistency. When you show up every single day and put in the work, when you improve quietly, when you discipline yourself without broadcasting it to the world, something powerful happens. Momentum builds, confidence grows, skill sharpens, and one day, the same people who questioned you start watching in silence. There's something dangerous about a person who moves quietly, because when you don't announce your moves, when you don't advertise your grind, when you don't argue with distractions, people underestimate you. And underestimation is an advantage. It allows you to develop without pressure. It allows you to grow without noise. It allows you to strike without warning. So stop telling everybody what you're about to do. Stop responding to every critic. Stop defending your timeline. Lock in, work in silence, heal in silence, train in silence. Let your improvement surprise them. And when the results finally show up, when the business grows, when the body transforms, when the degree is earned, when the dream becomes reality, you won't have to say a word. The life you built will speak for you, because at the end of the day, arguments are temporary, but achievement is permanent. And if you really want to win, stop talking and start building until your success makes all the noise for you. At some point, you've got to decide that the mission is bigger than the noise. You've got to wake up and realize that every second you spend worrying about who's talking about you is a second you're not investing in who you're becoming. And time is too expensive to waste on distractions. You don't get refunds on wasted days. You don't get credit for almost chasing your purpose. You either lock in or you look back with regret. The noise will always be there. Opinions will always be there. Doubt will always be there. If it's not coming from the outside, it'll try to rise up from the inside. That little voice that says, maybe they're right, maybe this is too hard, maybe I'm not built for this. But that's when you've got to get disciplined with your focus. You've got to train your mind the same way an athlete trains their body, because focus is a muscle. And if you don't strengthen it, distraction will dominate you. Greatness demands obsession, not a casual interest, not a temporary burst of motivation. Obsession, the kind that keeps you working when it's inconvenient, the kind that keeps you studying when everyone else is scrolling, the kind that keeps you committed when results are slow and progress feels invisible. When you are truly locked in on your assignment, the noise fades into the background. It doesn't disappear, it just loses power. Some of you are trying to chase your dream with divided attention. You want success, but you're also checking who liked your post. You want growth, but you're also listening to every rumor. You want elevation, but you're still entertaining conversations that pull you down. You can't serve two masters. You can't build your future and babysit distractions at the same time. Something has to go, and if it's not the noise, it will be your potential. The mission requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to things that feel good in the moment but cost you in the long run. It requires discipline when nobody is watching. It requires faith when there is no evidence yet, and that's where most people quit. They don't quit because they're incapable. They quit because they get tired of being misunderstood. They quit because they let the noise convince them that the mission isn't worth it. But let me tell you something. Your purpose doesn't need validation to be real. Your calling doesn't need applause to be powerful. If it was placed inside you, it's already approved. The question is not whether they believe in it. The question is whether you're willing to endure for it. When you focus on the mission, something shifts. You stop taking things personally. You stop reacting to every comment. You stop trying to correct every narrative. Because you understand that your energy is limited and you refuse to waste it, you become intentional. You become strategic. You become disciplined about where your attention goes, and attention is everything. Wherever your focus goes, your life follows. You've got to see yourself as a builder. Builders don't stop construction every time someone critiques the blueprint. Builders keep laying bricks, brick by brick, day by day, even when the structure doesn't look impressive yet. Even when people walk by and shake their heads. Because they know something others don't. When the foundation is strong, the finished product will speak. And yes, the road is lonely sometimes. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, there are days when you question yourself. But discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're stretching. It's a sign that you're growing. The mission will demand more from you than you thought you had. More patience, more resilience, more discipline. But in demanding more, it will also produce more. So keep your eyes forward. Stop scanning the crowd. Stop checking who's watching. Stop measuring your progress against people who aren't even running your race. Lock in on the assignment, guard your focus, protect your energy, and move with intention every single day. Because when you finally reach the place you've been grinding for, when the dream is no longer a vision but a reality, you'll realize something powerful. The noise was never your enemy. Distraction was. Stay locked in.